Uiteindelijk zal hij uitkomen op de 12e tijd. Verstappen met dit momentje. Die achterkant van die auto die breekt uit, maar hij vangt hem wel.
See the engine there as well. So this is how it happened. So we're going to catch the end of it. Yeah, he's already gone off.
Did you saw him? He was so close.
Yeah,
sometimes you lose the downforce and the steering wheel.
Oh, look at that! Just losing the rear of the car.
Wow, he was flying to go out. Really well done for Matsushita.
Well, it's good that he went side in. Reminiscent of the swap that you saw, the steering wheel. You can see what he thought of it. I don't think he was very impressed. Wow, look at this.
The rear, eh?
Rear of the car before he got to Radion, coming through, and you can just see the brakes applied, but he knows at this point that he's in trouble.
He left the wheel?
Yeah.
The steering wheel?
He did. And then the impact, and the tyre barriers doing their job.
Yeah.
Which is great to see. Many up there for a reason. And the fearsome corner claims another car in the wall. And, well, we haven't seen too much in terms of drivers off the road this weekend. All of that changed. But if you've just switched on and you're wondering if he's all right, he is. Nobu is out of the car, and you can see what he thought of it.
He was scared.
Not very impressed. I wonder, losing the car, and he clambered immediately out before the medical car could get to him. That is the most important thing to see. And the man who won the sprint race 1 month ago.
So we get the green flag from the marshal. We'll throw the lights to the top of the screen for you. There on the left-hand side. The engine note rises, so too does the excitement. Lando Norris with a brilliant start. Ferdinand Habsburg seemed to bog down there. Can Maximilian Gunter take advantage of that? Well, the one that has taken advantage is Joel Eriksson, who finds himself into P2. Oh, and there's a collision already, and a car invertedly.
Yes, it was someone's outbraked himself going into turn 1 and clattered into 2 others. Not entirely sure who that is at the moment. Safety car has been called.
So no surprise there. One of those involved in that was Ralph Aron. The other one that was involved in that and is upside down is the David Beckman car, the Van Amersfoort driver in car number 55. So David Beckman then, as the team are on the scene very, very quickly indeed. Here we can see it again. How did that happen?
And I wonder if that was possibly Guan Yu Zhu or someone from that far back.
There's the 55 car on the outside.
So yeah, it is Zhu. He outbrakes himself, goes into the side of Aron, who then hits Beckman, and Beckman gets turned over in the gravel trap. And to be fair, Dave,
he's the team boss of Prema Power Team. And there you can see the cars are both, and it just digs in. It digs into that gravel, doesn't it?
And what's happened actually is because it has rained overnight, there's an awful lot more compact dirt and gravel in there, so it's probably just hit like a lump that's actually tripped the car over.
And that's what tips it over. So there, the marshals very carefully lifting the car up, and the medical team are on there as well to make sure that he is perfectly okay. Now, of course, the integrity and the safety integrity of these Formula 3 European Championship cars is outstanding, isn't it? And therefore, particularly first turn, the speed had not been built up. He was just clattered in. Truthfully, a completely innocent bystander.
Absolutely, completely innocent bystander. And it's worth mentioning as well that one of the upgrade packages that Dallara delivered this year was actually a safety upgrade package. So there's more bulk in the front of the car where the suspension linkages are, and all of these upgrades. And
we can see him getting out.
And that's the marshals and the medical team will always tell a driver now to stay put in the car until they can actually attend the scene and make sure that the driver is fine, make sure that there's no issues that could cause any difficulty. It's all to make sure that the driver is extracted from the car in the safest manner possible.
These marshals, they train, the extraction teams train and train and train, don't they? So the medical team's just there making sure that everything is, and in fairness, we saw within the gap through the marshals there that David was actually trying to get himself out of the car, but it's being advised just to, take it easy, let us control the situation here, because what we don't want to do, we want to make sure you're absolutely fine.
It's reminiscent to a degree of it was a crash at Le Mans about 5 years ago with Anthony Davidson.
Yes.
He had a massive crash.
There he is, out of the car, look. And well done to all the team down there, and great to hear all the applause as well as he is out of the car, and to all intents and purposes looks absolutely fine, walks away. More cross than anything else, I should think. Of course, he's racing.
Y ahora se acelera en pista. Smollier ha impactado primero con Pioveras y luego ha impactado con el coche de Japanainen, que creo que se le queda el resultado partido en dos partes. Por fortuna, en ningún momento había impacto directo con Japanainen, es decir, los pilotos no han impactado la cabeza de ningún piloto contra ningún trozo de monoplaza, que se nos muestran repeticiones de lo que nos tranquiliza.
And here comes Nico Prost, he hits him, round goes Heidfeld, pirouetting in the stadium and then a shunt, and the two teammates hit each other. Mitch Evans is caught up in all of that as well. They all get going. That's going to be a
off the dark patch of the racetrack, which we call the racing line. He's up in the gray. He's lost control of the car. He's hoping he's not going to hit the wall. He impacts the wall, comes off the wall, just misses the 10 of Tony Kanaan. Unfortunately, Scott Dixon is right there, up and over the front of the car. Car hits on the top of the wall. The safety cell on these cars, guys, I can't tell you how strong they are. An awful accident, but as we saw, Scott Dixon right there, hands away from the steering wheel. We saw him get out, and when we first went to this frame, when we first saw this accident, you heard some roar from the crowd, and that was because they knew that Scott Dixon was okay, and the 77 of Jay Howard was also okay.
Boy, this is just bad timing on Dixon's part and incredible fortune with the way this car lands on top of the wall.
Or he's incredibly fortunate.
On the top right there. On the top load.
He had nowhere to go, absolutely nowhere to go, and it landed exactly the way you don't want a car to land on a guardrail. He was just so lucky that the hard
Hendricks
part...
kind of shuts that upside lane there away from Hendricks, and they battle it side by side through 3 and 4 with Steyer's your new leader.
He affected Hendricks' line enough to get... Oh! And he goes for a big ride down the front straightaway, does Glenn Steyers, after contact between he and Tyler Hendricks. Safety crews are on the way.
Wow, violent.
Literally third. Oh, boy, goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
What happened?
Brandon Arthur up and outside the racetrack. Coming down the backstretch into turn number 2. Brandon Arthur in the MAV TV truck involved in a wicked incident. There he is up against the tires outside of the racetrack. The Lund safety team already down there tending to the driver. What happened down here?
Oh.
And there you see a little contact with Cole Mamer. And because of that, Look at the flip that ensued on the Jumbotron and at home wherever you're watching, over the fence, going into the turn 2 area. Brandon Arthur with a...
As they come through the tri-oval behind him. Reed looking for the checkers. He's going to get it. Second career victory at Daytona. And they're crashing as they come across the start-finish line.
It's over. Oh my God!
That's just playoff point here for the guy that wins this stage. Oh, and they're going to crash.
Bell and Moffitt contact, and the caution is out.
This is just bump drafting gone bad.
Watch the 23 of Spencer Gallagher. Like he might have just got into the back end of that 7 truck.
He
just enough.
He got out to the right side of the bumper, Vince, and I think that's what turned Brett Moffitt around. Luckily, no more than just a couple involved. You can see right there. Maybe that's why Matt Crafton dove out of that pack.
Daniels.
Scatta in questo momento il Black Bane sulla distanza delle 2 ore e 55 minuti. Sono tutti partiti. Mamma mia, cosa succede?
Will get the lead. He locks the brake for a split second, but will hold the lead through turn 1. We got some side-by-side action. He's going around there on the exit of his contact with Abel Nika, and now King's involved. Big damage here on the straight.
That's an enormous crash. There must be a dozen cars involved. Sven Boykart's in the Porsche. Oh, look at that. It's a wrecking yard. And an expensive one at that. Huge damage to the front of the A9X. Couple of Porsches burning stack in the middle of that. Belinda Price is parked. Andrew Fisher, who started at the back of the field. Oh, man. Huge damage to Abel Nika, who started third. Mark King copped an enormous hit in the Chevy Camaro as well.
Race has been red flagged. There's King. We've got Stack in the middle of this. Belinda Price. And we thought that lock-up from Gomesel's car, that's just cold tyres going through. He looped it on his own as he corrected its comeback in front of the entire field. And even John Baum caught in this. This is exactly like we saw in race number 3 at Adelaide earlier this year.
It's Tony Karamfalowski with big damage. This car was due a freshen up. It's going to happen quicker than before. Sven Boykaerts has got a very, very big hit in the left rear corner of the number 90 Porsche. So race suspended. Seen this a few times this year in various categories, haven't we? Fortunately, Jason.
Oh, hold on, Steve Torrance. Steve Torrance wins the race, but more importantly, we got to make sure he's okay inside of the cockpit.
Let's look for some movement. We see some movement from the helmet, and this is good news that Steve is getting out of the car.